have turkey oak. Okay, this is, again, very distinctive leaves. So for test time, you know, I'll show you pictures of plants. And so this one is our turkey oak that we find in this area. Again, this area won't be burned at all. Okay, we have, when you're looking to, and let me know if you see stuff. If any of you see any type of animals, anything at all, let me know. We'll all document, because it says on your handout to document what you see out here. Okay, so if you see anything, big or small. Okay, so we have here too, we're going to look at our various oaks. So for this guy here, we have, this is a younger live oak. Okay, it has its little canoe boats. We'll look at the bigger ones when we get back into the hammock. We're going to walk over right over here, and I'm going to show you some of the vines. Now, again, watch where you're walking, because, you know, there's ants. There's, again, you could have, there's possible dangers out here. This vine right here, this is a native vine. And you've probably seen the berries in Publix. This is called muscadine. So under vines, you'll want to start a vine category, data keepers. You spell it M-U-S-C-A-D-I-N-E. And this is also called fox grape. And you see muscadine berries in Publix. I personally don't like them. I think they're kind of bitter. They also make muscadine jelly, muscadine wine. Okay, so this is a native species. Now, a lot of folks will go in when you're, you know, you're a land manager, and will remove them because too many vines, whether they're native or exotic, are a bad thing. Number one, to write down, data keepers, because you guys are like in charge to give the information to your other group members, is that they will suffocate the vegetation. They'll actually grow up and will grow over to the point where the plants underneath can't photosynthesize. And number two, they provide will make a fire ladder, okay? Which is when you have a fire, naturally it's a ground fire, it's slow burning, but this has happened out at Honeymoon Island, where last time they burned, there were so many vines, all of a sudden it's just a wall of fire. Like all of a sudden it's burning low on the ground, and then whoosh, and so it creates a fire ladder, which is very dangerous. Okay, we're going to look too, when you see the grasses that have the long stalks on them, that's the muley grass I mentioned earlier. When you see the grasses that have, they look like wire, very skinny, so it's the wire grass. So we're going to go in here, okay? You really can't get lost, because if you go that way, there's wetlands, and if you go that way, it's Belcher, and if you go, you go that way, it's BB, so... sometimes there's folks back here, homeless. We do have homeless folks back here and stuff. There's never been an issue though. So we're gonna walk back here. Again, watch, because I'll show you the harvest area. Let me know if you see any snakes or.
Yeah, I have. If we see a snake, I'm gonna fly off the ground. Yeah. I don't understand.
On your right here, guys, all this is wiregrass. This is, right, there's a burrow. So this is, again, a favorite food of the tortoise. Okay, so looking at this burrow right here, guys, and you could look down in it, is that active, inactive, or abandoned?
Inactive.
Step back. Okay, now, you said active. Why would you say?
No, I said inactive.
Oh, inactive.
Because there's no feces.
Okay, now, it's not necessarily going to have feces.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you see, I mean, they could just go to the bathroom all over the place, but you won't necessarily. Okay, that's an osprey overhead, so we want to write that on our list. They have that distinctive little chirpy call. Okay, so that, look down in the burrow. Do you see tracks?
I see like raindrop marks.
You don't see anything? No. Okay, so you look to see if there's vegetation and if you see any tracks or not. So there are some leaves, but if you look down in there, you see there's tracks on the inside. They're on both sides because, again, they're walking, they have those little elephant legs, right? And they're walking and they're making their tracks as they go down. So that would be considered an active burrow because you see the tracks on the inside. Okay, now a good way too to find the burrow is you look for the apron where you look for the dirt where it's been kicked up. So, all right, very good. All right, so now we're going to walk this way. Okay. This is one of those little hovering bees here. They're perfectly harmless. Bees. They're really kind of cool. They just hover in place. Okay, so this is even more vegetation than when I was out here last time. Because again, the lack of fire. This right here is Brazilian pepper. So again, if you don't know if you're allergic to it or not, you don't want to touch it or rub up against it. Okay, it's in the poison ivy family. Poison ivy has leaves of 3, let it be. This has more leaves, but it's Brazilian pepper. I know I'm not allergic to it. And so you, as I touch it. Okay, and so this is the bad guy again that we would love to get out of Florida, but it's nearly impossible. Okay, so we're going to move forward. Don't touch that plant. We have a spider.
Whoa. Where?
Right here.
It's
See him?
floating.
I'm unsure of his of what species he is. I'll have to look him up. Little gray guy.
Oh, I see it.
You see him now?
Yeah.
This is a little. This here is another vine, guys, for your list. It's called Smilax. S-M-I-L-A-X. Okay, so this is a native vine. Okay, this is a good guy. This is okay, but again, you don't want too much of him. Okay, look at the bark on these trees, guys. What is now you got to watch too with bark because there's scorpions in here. They love this. When Fernandez does her research, she comes out at night with her with her UV lights in because they glow. And if you ever want to go and do that, let her know. But by looking at it, what is the job of bark? We talked about this in lecture. Protection, right? Look at how thick this is. So if a fire goes through here, this tree is going to be okay because that that cambium is okay again on the inside, the xylem and the phloem. So it's protected. Okay, the vascular tissue is protected by that heavy-duty bark. Okay.
I wish we had class here every day. Like, it would make my
That'd be like something on the phone.
and you could really learn, like, so much. Like,
It's sweet there. A lot of this is like a lot.
See, this isn't a burrow. Something's just been foraging there. Could be raccoons, could be armadillos. So when you see holes like that, that's just something's trying to find food. I know that for,
Yeah,
when you do your
before
surveying a
class.
little bit, there in the past has been burrows back here. Do you guys know this was back here? No. That's what everybody says. They're like, we didn't even know that was there. So everybody can come here? Yeah, anybody can come here. We're actually going to put trails back through here with seating and signage. And the provost is trying to acquire funding to make this like a nice park.
Document that, kids. Document it.
oh, they're using motion. This is a paper
Okay, so here's another burrow, just for comparison. So you have here,
I get it.
now this burrow, if you guys want to check it out, it has vegetation. You can see it looks dirtier, right? Okay, now, that one I would classify as inactive, okay, because it's not abandoned, there's no like spider webs growing over it, and I'll show you one abandoned one. It looks like a collapsed home. Like you can tell that, but that one still may be in use. It's just still, no one's been in or out of that in the past couple of days. Now you're gonna have, here you're an area with a lot of pines, okay, and so you're gonna have a lot of vegetation fallen. These guys here, for my data keepers, these are the slash pines. Okay, they're thicker. When you look at them, the branches look like bottle brushes. Okay, so you guys see how the leaves are all clustered at the end of the branches. Okay, so that is the most dominant pine in this area. Then next to it you have the short and stubby to the left, really tiny needles, tiny cones. That is the sand pine, or yeah, the sand pine that I had mentioned earlier. So it's a nice comparison side by side of the two. All right, so we're gonna hike this way. Dr. Wallace does a tree density study out here. That's why they have all the pink ribbons. He measures the tree growth over time. And how many are here, the distribution and abundance. Here's the prickly pear cactus. That guy doesn't have his thorns. It's okay, but you can see there that's what one would look like. Okay guys, what do you think about this one? What's the general consensus?
Inactive.
Does it look like it's kind of closing in?
It does, yeah. Now a lot of these, you got to really look down in there and see what's going on. It does look like it's closing in. So there's bugs flying around in there. There's, you see there's a lot of vegetation. Not only is it it's closing in on the bottom where the burrow doesn't really, it's not opened up anymore.
So is that abandoned?
What you saying, sorry? And sometimes if you're unsure too, it's kind of cheating, but that's okay. Find a stick. And put the stick in there and see if it goes anywhere. Because if it's still being used, it's going to go far down. As far as it goes, though.
Maybe that's the upper tortoise.
Yeah, choke. They'll hiss at you if you get them mad.
There's another one over there.
Yeah, so I would classify this guy as newly abandoned because it's caved in. Where's another one? Okay, check them out. Now when you're doing your walkthrough, guys, you'll walk through all of your document burrows, but you want to keep an eye on each other to see what area you've covered. Okay, where's the other one, Alex? Right here? Okay. So, this one's got a lot of vegetation. I would say, though there are tracks on the inside, that it is inactive. Inactive.
You said there's tracks that
No, but there's some on the inside, but there's a lot of vegetation that's covering it. It's not when it's active, it's totally cleared out. The driveway's clean.
What?
Those are called ranger homes. So pretty there's burrows back here. There's burrows all along here. When you guys are doing your inventory, you're going to find them all along the roadside. Okay, because again, it's high and dry. They like this area in here. So we'll come back here in a little bit for our survey. Oh,
I mean,
Pearls all back in here too.
Go ahead.
For your shrub species, you have salt cover.
Where do you live that you say it's by the country?
What do you say?
Big gross bugs.
Oh, okay.
Do you run like a half year?
Now that looks like that's how it's been. And then look at the solar plant.
Do you live out by Trinity?
Why?
Yeah.
I live Brooker Creek Preserve in off of East Lake.
Okay. John Hughes, remember I did the lab with him? Yeah. He showed me a picture of this giant snake that was like on the side of the road. It was at least like 20 feet long and it was going along the highway.
Here we go. So what do you guys think for that one?
Active?
So yes,
Yeah, I'd
good.
say active.
Yep, you see tracks. It's pretty clean. It looks like somebody's been going in and out of there. Did he say what kind of snake?
No, they couldn't tell because it was going so fast.
Oh, okay.
oh, so let's see. I thought it wasn't me.
I saw a coyote dead on the side of the road 2 days ago. On East Lake.
That's where he said it was like East Lake and Keystone.
So you can see here's our high condos over here. They dig up on the sides. I wanted to point out this plant to you guys. Let's see if it's still here or not. Maybe they took it all out. This right here, guys, I'm trying to look to see if I can find seed heads for you guys. This one right here, this is called a rosary pea. Okay, to write down for your vine. This is the guy, this is the seed. He has a chemical in him called abrin, and if you were to bite into this, it would kill you. It's that dangerous. They get these big brown seed heads that they pop open. They're red and black. Okay, I want everybody to see this guy. Do you see him?
Yeah.
And if you eat it, and yep, there's another one. If you eat it and you don't bite into it, it'll go through your digestive system fine. But if you bite into it, it'll kill you. Back in the days, they call it rosary pea, like P-E-A, like green peas. They, the women used to take them and used to make necklaces, rosary beads out of them. But if you had a cut on your skin, same thing, because you were breaking into the seed and releasing the chemical. So it's big time. It's one of the 10 most dangerous plants, and we have it here on campus. I don't see a grade. Came out here a year or two ago, and there were like seeds everywhere. So they look like they are like trying to do a pretty good job of getting rid of it, because I'm not seeing very many now. Red with a black tip, but when these open, there's a bunch of them in there. Okay, and I've seen them at Honeymoon Island. I've seen them in Pasco County at Anacroke Key. You see them all. They're a vine.
I know, I've seen those.
You've seen these before. Right, how dangerous they are. I believe this is the plant for it, but I don't. But they look like they're doing a pretty good job. as far as getting rid of it. I just found this one on the ground. But I don't even, oh, here we go. Yep, here they are, right here. I don't want to touch them, you know.
Yeah, there's it on
See,
the...
here's right. They're a vine. Here's what they look like when they pop open. I'm a little freaked out by these guys, you know. It's like I don't even want to touch them. That's why I have them. I'm not carrying them because. But you can see them. I see them just walking here. I see them on the ground. Very dangerous. And, you know, with little kids, too, they like to put stuff in their mouths. And so this is something, if you have it by your yard, absolutely get rid of it. Okay. All right, we're going to walk back down here. I'm going to give you kind of the general lay of the land, and then you guys can do your survey, okay, of the property. So the property also goes this way till you hit a retention pond where it opens up, okay, and then that's your stopping point. So we have Belcher, we have where we just came from, where the apartments are. Over here's the retention pond. It only goes a little bit that way, and that's your stopping point. And then to down here, I'll show you guys where we're at. Again, Brazilian pepper. So Brazilian pepper can go under your shrub layer, guys. It's an exotic. Under your shrub layer, you could put Brazilian pepper. We've seen 3 vines today, muscadine, smilax, and the rosary pea. It's old cushioning. Trash. Somebody's trash. Trash. Again, lots of Brazilian pepper, guys. Here's another burrow. Now these guys that are out in the sun a lot, you're going to expect for them to be active because they get a lot of sunlight, and so you have a lot of activity. It's a nice open area for foraging. If you see ants that create a big circle, those are called harvester ants. They won't bother you at all. I wouldn't step at them. Okay, but they harvest plant material around their ant lions around their nests. And so this is now the back side of the property where we have the retention pond. Okay, lots of cattails, which would indicate high nutrients in that waterway. Then when you go this way, you start going toward DB. You have wetlands, so those trees back there are cypress. They line the whole US 19 back here. So we don't go in there because that's wet area. We're only looking for high and dry. And then we move up that way, that's where we came from. And there's the road we came on by the parking lot, and then there's another road, a service way that's to the right of that. So this is the property here that we're going to survey now. So what you want to do is break into your groups, okay, and you'll walk this area here, okay, and look for burrows, and then classify them as active. You see tracks, it's a clean driveway. You can see there's been activity, fresh mound. Inactive, there may be some debris. You may see some tracks on the inside, but it looks like it hasn't been used for a couple days to a week. And then abandoned, like collapsed, spider webs, bugs flying around, lots of vegetation. It looks like a complete mess and hasn't been used in months, okay? So do your best as far as come to a general consensus, okay? And so start where you want, don't get lost, okay? And then I'll be walking around to check on everybody. And we'll get back together, say like a half an hour. I'll see how everybody's doing as far as their survey goes, and then if we're close to finishing up, then we'll head back to the room. Okay? So so you have this way a little bit, and then you have the area we just hiked through. okay? And then this strip here too. Again, just always be mindful of where you're walking. And try not to double count burrows.